if you're like me, ladies and gentlemen, for the last handful of weeks, you have been watching the latest entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe on the Disney Plus service, and that would be, of course, WandaVision. Now, today we're going to go on ahead and celebrate the absolutely crazy world of WandaVision by creating 10 customs based on the show's most colorful moments. So we're going to go on ahead and take a look at those different characters. Let me know which of the designs is your favorite, and in the comment section below, guys, I also want to hear from you guys which is your favorite WandaVision character. I am looking forward to hearing from you guys. And of course, in addition to that, if you're wondering why am I using LEGO DC Supervillains, well, it's because this game actually offers a whole lot more customization pieces than LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. I tried to use that game, but all the designs just kind of turned out horrible, so I went ahead and abandoned it and instead decided to use LEGO DC Supervillains in order to get a more accurate rendition. And so with that in mind, who are we looking at first and foremost here? This is, of course, my take on Wanda, specifically as she looks on the Halloween episode. So also, I guess one thing that I should mention, this image was leaked a long while ago, but I do want to mention, if you have not watched the show at all, I probably would avoid this video just because there will be spoilers in this video for a certain specific character. Really, I think there's only, well, sorry, never mind. There's 3 characters that would be spoilers for you. So again, you have been warned. Stop now. But also, leave a like. I would really appreciate that. So with that in mind, here we have Wanda from the Halloween episode. I think this one turned out really cool. I'm very happy with this particular design. I think it's a very cool kind of take on the classic Wanda design, or more importantly, I guess, Scarlet Witch design, and I think it turned out very cool, very neat. I think that I managed to go on ahead and capture the vast majority of the elements that you would expect. From there, here's your first spoiler warning. It's the one and only Pietro, aka Evan Peters Pietro, as he appears on that episode, or the episode, concluding episode of episode number 5, I believe, right? We hear that knock on the door, and bada beam, bada boom, Pietro enters, and more importantly, it is Evan Peters Pietro. There's a specific reason why I'm not rotating all the way around. Of course, he did have that kind of almost like Hawaiian-styled open-button shirt, the leather jacket, and just plain jeans. So I managed to capture all that. The only issue is the big giant question mark logo on his back, because that was the only way to get that kind of weird, funky Hawaiian purple looking shirt. So I think that overall captured pretty good elements. I did not give him speedster abilities. There's a reason for that, because there is going to be another take on the character of Quicksilver, I guess, more specifically. So you can expect that here in just a moment. But I am very happy with the way that this one turned out. I think he does look very much like he did in that specific scene. And yes, I chose a very specific face as well. Kind of used more of like a villainous face, just because I'm predicting that he's probably not going to be a good guy. But then again, that's not an original prediction. I think that's what everybody thinks. Now, from there, we transition to one of my personal favorites from the show, and that would be Jimmy Woo, the agent of the FBI / Sword. I did go on ahead and give him the pistol, and just chose to give him the kind of just casual attire that we see him throughout. So not the armored up look that he has been in, but just more so just the casual sort of gray pants and the dark blue blazer. There was no way to capture like the kind of badge thing where it would say FBI, because you could use there is a badge character which would be like the Doctor Strange one, but then you're not getting the undercoat to be correct. So that was a bit unfortunate. But aside from that, I think he turned out really cool. Obviously a pretty simplistic character. Anytime you do a character that doesn't like have any specific like superhero costume, it's relatively easy to capture what they look like, especially if they wear pretty much just like a business suit or like a dress shirt with a tie. So it keeps things quite easy. And so the next agent that we're going to take a look at is the one and only Monica Rambeau. And I am so stoked with the way that this one turned out. I did decide to go for Monica with the bullet vest design. I think it looks a lot cooler. Plus, it obviously played a significant element kind of in the show where she uses actually the bulletproof vest to make a big discovery about Wanda's powers and the Hex. So I felt like it was important to capture that. Aside from that, I just just gave her like the jeans and boots look, so nothing particularly special there. And it did give her a weapon as well, obviously, as she is like an agent of sword, so it would be appropriate for her to be carrying a weapon. Aside from that, I think we did quite well with the design. Obviously, should she get some other looks down the line in the show, I'll definitely need to update this, because if she does get her powers and becomes Photon like she does in the comics, or gets her Photon powers like she does in the comics, then we'll see if she'll get like a unique superhero costume or something like that. So I am looking forward to seeing whether or not that is the case. Let me know what you guys actually think. Do you think Monica Rambeau will be actually exemplifying her powers before the show is over? Or do you think it'll be like a post-credit scene or something like that, where it's like on the last episode we find out that she does have powers? Almost like Miles Morales in the Spider-Man game. Let me know what you guys think of that theory. And here we go with the next character. You probably are thinking right now, well, that's gotta be Pietro Quicksilver running around. And no, you'd be absolutely wrong, because this is actually Tommy. So what I did go on ahead and do is build both of the new WandaVision kids, and we've got both Tommy and Billy right here as they were seen in the Halloween episode. Again, the reason why I chose that particular look is because I feel like that's the closest to like a superhero costume, quote unquote, whereas the other variations are just like regular clothes, so there's really nothing unique to them. I know what you're thinking probably, Blitz. What's up with the orange plungers? I was trying to do my best to recreate those like Halloween like buckets of candy that they were carrying, so that was kind of the idea behind it. It's obviously very difficult to do considering there's nothing like that in the game, but I did go on ahead and still attempt to do my best at that. I think that overall this one turned out really cool. I did choose only partially white hair for Tommy, just because I just thought it was a little bit more accurate to the show, because if you go back on the show and look at it, his hair is not like completely white. It only has like white highlights at the very top, so I feel like this kind of recreates that very, very, very well. And then, of course, over here for Billy, I did go on ahead and give him the headband that he was wearing. Obviously, the headband that he wore on the show was actually blue, so unfortunately, there was no way to capture that. I did use the shorter cape, which was something that was also present for that particular character. And then aside from that, again, he had a pretty simple design. It was pretty much just like kind of like a gray shirt with black pants, whereas the design for Tommy had that lightning bolt sort of design across the chest, and then a color combination of basically a whole bunch of different shades of blue and grays. So I think that overall, the twins turned out pretty cool. Pretty happy with the results for the WandaVision twins, and the way that they turned out looks pretty cool, all things considered. And next up, we have the creepy and spectacularly, well, let's be honest, she's probably going to be evil, and that would be Agnes. So all of us are obviously predicting that she is going to turn out to be some villainous witch character. Obviously that has not transpired yet in the show, so we'll see as the show continues to unwind what awaits for us down the line. For now, by the way, I do want to tell you guys, I am recording this the week that episode 7 will be coming out for WandaVision, so obviously maybe this look will not be applicable down the line, but I decided to go for just one of the more like casual looks that we see of her, with kind of like the dress. It was like a beige dress, and then she wore like a black sweater over top of it. So that's pretty much the look that we have captured here. And aside from that, there really isn't anything else to point out as far as details are concerned for this character for now. Should we see her use some sort of powers, and should she be Agatha the Witch, then obviously we'll see that play out in a more substantial manner. And speaking of villains, here we have the character of Quicksilver, which I know most people are going to be like, wait, what? Villains? I still stand by the fact that there's something off about this particular Quicksilver, or this particular take of Quicksilver, which is, of course, the Evan Peters Quicksilver. Here, I went ahead and actually added the design that we see him in for the Halloween episode, so you can see his hairstyle is completely different. It's kind of more swooshed back. It's a wider design. I did go on ahead and reuse that lightning bolt sort of look across the chest, then once again captured the gray gloves, the lighter blue like under sweater, and then he had like the torn off like shorts jeans. So I went ahead and captured that. He also wore a belt, so I think I did a pretty good job capturing most of the elements there. Plus, because it was in this look that we actually saw him exemplify a lot more of his speedster powers, I feel like it would be appropriate to go on ahead and equip the speedster ability to this particular variation of Evan Peters' Quicksilver. Now, with all that in mind, there's only one more character to look at, and you can't imagine that I forgot about Vision. Now, can you? And so last but certainly not least, we have the Halloween Vision. I am so happy with how this design turned out. I think this, out of the entire 10 that I went ahead and built, is the absolute best one. I mean, it's not perfect, just in the sense that the eyes ideally should not be glowing blue, and obviously ideally the kind of like overhead mask that he wears should be a little bit closer to the face. It shouldn't be so like far off the head where it almost looks like a hoodie. So that's the only element that I wish I could change. But aside from that, like, I legitimately think that this is a brilliant take on the character. He turned out really, really cool, and I'm super stoked that LEGO DC Supervillains Customizer has allowed me to make this particular, at this point, somewhat iconic take of Vision. So with all that in mind, there you have it, ladies and gents. That was 10 designs from the WandaVision show. Let me know which of the designs is your personal favorite, and also let me know which is your favorite character from the WandaVision TV show. Of course, once the show is over, should we get some other unique reveals, some unique costumes, or just unique takes on some of the characters that we've seen? Like, for example, like I mentioned earlier, if Agnes, let's say, exemplifies like a new look where she's using powers, or maybe she's casting some spells or something like that, and we see like a more epic design for her instead of just like the casual attires that she's worn, then I'll definitely go on ahead and come back and do a retake on 10 characters and redesign them to be even cooler. So with all that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.